stop scrolling. Put the phone down, pull up a chair, and look me in the eye. We need to have a serious conversation about Ilia Topuria's sanity. Or maybe we need to talk about his genius. Because right now, I can't tell the difference, and that is exactly why we are here. The rumors are swirling. The whispers are getting louder. UFC 327. Ilia Topuria vs. Islam Makhachev. The featherweight king moving up to challenge the lightweight king. Matador vs. the Dagestani mountain. I saw the comments already. I know what half of you are typing before I even finish this sentence. You're typing that Ilia is delusional. You're typing that he's too small. You're typing that Islam is going to ragdoll him, smash him, and send him back to 145 in a body bag. And you know what? On paper, you're probably right. On paper, this is a massacre. On paper, weight classes exist for a reason. But when has Ilia Topuria ever cared about paper? When has this guy ever cared about logic? Let's rewind for a second. Think about the Volkanovski fight. Everyone, and I mean everyone, said Volk was too experienced. Volk was too fast. Volk had seen it all. And what did Ilia do? He walked him down, put him against the fence, and shut the lights out. He didn't just beat him. He deleted the aura of invincibility surrounding Alexander Volkanovski in 2 rounds. So when Ilia Topuria looks at the camera and says he wants Islam Makhachev next, I've learned to stop laughing. I've learned to stop rolling my eyes. Because this guy operates on a frequency of self-belief that borders on psychosis. He genuinely believes he can knock out anybody walking the face of the earth. But here is the million-dollar question. Is Islam Makhachev anybody? Absolutely not. Islam isn't Volk. I love Volk, he's the featherweight goat, but Islam is a different species of problem. We are talking about a guy who is massive for 155. A guy who stands toe-to-toe with strikers and outstrikes them, and then seamlessly transitions into a chain wrestling sequence that feels like you're drowning in quicksand. If this fight happens at UFC 327, we are looking at the biggest stylistic clash in modern MMA history. You have the best boxer in the UFC. Yeah, I said it, Ilia is the best pure boxer in the company right now, going up against the most suffocating grappler in the game. The audacity of this move is what gets me. Usually, a champion defends the belt a few times. They clear out the division. They build a legacy. Then, maybe after 3 or 4 years, they talk about moving up. Ilia. He wins the belt and immediately looks at the scariest guy in the division above him and says, I want him. It's that McGregor energy, but with better fundamentals. It's that confidence that sells pay-per-views. But is it smart? Let's break down the actual mechanics of this fight because the more I think about it, the more intriguing it gets. People say Ilia is too small. Is he? He's thick. The guy cuts a lot of weight to make 145. He's got a broad back, a low center of gravity. That low center of gravity is crucial against a guy like Islam. It's harder to double-leg a fire hydrant than it is a lamppost. Ilia is built like a tank. And let's talk about the wrestling. Everyone assumes that if Islam grabs him, it's over. Are we sure about that? Ilia has a Greco-Roman background. We haven't seen him use it much because he's been busy separating people from their consciousness with his fists, but the grappling chops are there. We saw him defend takedowns against Bryce Mitchell like it was nothing. And I know, Bryce Mitchell isn't Islam Makhachev. But the hips are there. The balance is there. The danger for Ilia isn't getting taken down once. It's the pace. It's the pressure. It's the fact that Islam doesn't just take you down, he wears on you. He hangs on you. He makes you carry his weight for 5 rounds. Can Ilia carry that weight for 25 minutes and still have the snap on his punches to land the kill shot? That is the question. On the flip side, look at Islam. We saw him get cracked by Volkanovski in the first fight. We saw him look human. Volk is shorter, stockier, faster. Ilia is shorter, stockier, and, dare I say it, hits harder than Volk. If Volk could hurt Islam, if Volk could drop Islam, You better believe Ilia Topuria can put him to sleep. Ilia throws combinations in a phone booth. He doesn't need space. He rips the body, comes upstairs with hooks that generate torque from his ankles. If Islam gets comfortable, if he stays in the pocket for 1 second too long thinking he can trade, he's waking up looking at the referee's flashlight. But Islam is smart. Khabib is in his corner. Well, sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't, but the game plan is always there. They aren't going to ego trip this. They aren't going to stand and bang just to prove a point. They are going to kick Ilia's legs. They are going to clinch. They are going to make it ugly. Does Ilia have the patience for ugly? He's a hunter. He likes to stalk. He likes to be the matador. But what happens when the bull is a bear? What happens when you can't back the other guy up? This fight at UFC 327 would be massive. It would be the biggest fight the UFC could make right now outside of maybe Jones versus Aspinall, and even then, this might have more global appeal. You've got the Spanish and Georgian markets going crazy. You've got the Muslim world rallying behind Islam. It's a promoter's dream. But there is a part of me, the purest part of me, that hates it. Hear me out. Featherweight is on fire right now. We've got contenders. We've got Movsar Evloev waiting in the wings with that undefeated record. We've got Diego Lopez looking like a maniac. We've got the Max Holloway rematch potentially looming if Max decides to stay at 145. Why do we need to freeze the division? Every time we do a super fight, 2 divisions get stalled. Lightweight is a shark tank. You've got Sarukian waiting. You've got Gamrot, Oliveira, Gaethje. If Islam fights Ilia, all those guys sit out for another 6 months. Is that fair? No. Is it entertaining? Hell yes. And that's the conflict, isn't it? We say we want sport, but we pay for spectacle. And Topuria versus Makhachev is pure spectacle. Let's pivot to the other side of this coin. The money. Because you don't take a fight like this for legacy alone. You take it for the bag. And speaking of bags, we got the leaks. We got the numbers from UFC 325. And boy, do we need to talk about these salaries. Every time these numbers come out, it's the same story, but it never stops being shocking. The disparity is wild. We are looking at the main event fighters pulling in millions, and rightfully so, but then you look at the undercard and you want to throw up. I'm looking at the sheet right now. You've got guys on the prelims fighting for their lives, putting their long-term health on the line, walking away with $12,000 to show and $12,000 to win. After taxes, after paying the gym, after paying the manager, after paying for the training camp nutrition. What is left? A couple grand? Maybe enough to pay rent for 2 months? It's criminal. We are talking about the premier organization in the world. The NFL of fighting. And you have athletes living paycheck to paycheck, working second jobs. Then you look at the top of the card. The main event winner at UFC 325 reportedly walked away with a flat purse of $3 million, plus PPV points. That's life-changing money. That's retire your mom money. And I'm not saying they don't deserve it. They are the stars. They sell the tickets. But the gap is a canyon. This connects back to Topuria. Why is he chasing Islam? Why is he rushing this? Because he knows the game. He knows that champ status is the only way to get that McGregor money. Being a dominant champion at 145 is great. You make good money. But being the double champ? Being the guy who slayed the dragon? That puts you in the stratosphere. That gets you the video game cover. That gets you the movie deals. Ilia isn't just fighting for a second belt. He's fighting for leverage. If he holds 2 belts, he holds the UFC hostage, in a good way. He can dictate terms. He can say, I'm not fighting unless you pay me 10 million flat. And they'll have to listen. But let's go back to the salaries for a second, because there was one number on that UFC 325 list that really stood out to me. The co-main event loser. A veteran of the sport. a guy with over 20 fights in the company. He made less than the main event winner's win bonus. Think about that. Years of service. Brain damage accumulated over a decade. And he's making a fraction of what the new superstar makes. It shows you exactly what the UFC values. They don't value loyalty, they value hype. They value the now. That's why Ilia is moving so fast. He knows the hype train has a schedule. Right now, he is the hottest thing in the sport. He is the chosen one. But in this game, you are one head kick away from being that guy who used to be champ. If Ilia stays at 145 and fights Movsar Evloev, let's be real, it's a high-risk, low-reward fight. Movsar is a grinder. He could boring wrestle Ilia to a decision. If Ilia loses that, the Islam fight is gone forever. The aura is gone. The money is gone. But if he goes up to 155 and loses to Islam? Hey, he dared to be great. He went up a weight class. He lost to the pound-for-pound #1. His stock doesn't drop that much. He goes back to 145 and defends his belt. It's the smartest business move he can make. It's the nothing to lose gamble. But let's get back to the fight itself. I want to visualize the first round for you. UFC 327. Las Vegas. The lights go down. Ilia walks out with that rose. The confidence oozing off him. Islam walks out, stoic, face like stone. The bell rings. Ilia takes the center. He always takes the center. He's going to press Islam. He's going to try to back him up to the fence immediately. This is dangerous because Islam operates well off the back foot, looking for that check hook or the level change. Ilia throws that calf kick. Bam. We saw what Gaethje did to fighters with leg kicks, but Ilia's are underrated. He chops the lead leg to take away Islam's mobility. Islam fires back with that southpaw body kick. That's the weapon people forget. Islam's kicks are like baseball bats. If he hits Ilia in the liver, it changes the complexion of the fight instantly. The first clash. Ilia lunges with a left hook. Islam ducks under. He grabs the waist. This is the moment. The entire arena holds its breath. Does Ilia shuck him off? Or does Islam lock the hands? If Islam locks the hands, Ilia is going for a ride. And if Ilia hits the mat in the first round, it's going to be a long night. Islam's top control is heavy. It's suffocating. He weaves the legs, he traps the wrist. He makes you panic. But if Ilia stuffs it, if Ilia shucks him off and lands a combination on the break, the crowd will erupt. That's the moment doubt creeps in for the champion. You have to remember, Islam has been knocked out before. It was a long time ago, Pantoja caught him, but the chin is not granite. It's good, but it's not uncrackable. And Ilia hits harder than Pantoja. Ilia hits harder than almost anyone Islam has faced. I truly believe Ilia has a 20% chance of knocking him out in the first 2 rounds. That sounds low, but against Islam Makhachev, a 20% chance is huge. Most guys have a 0% chance. However, as the fight goes on, the math changes. Round 3. Round 4. The cardio. The wrestling tax. Every time you defend a takedown, it drains your gas tank twice as fast as throwing a punch. Your arms get heavy. Your reaction time slows down. This is where Islam shines. He drags you into deep water. He drowns you. I can see a scenario where Ilia looks like a superhero for 7 minutes, and then suddenly, he looks like a victim. He's stuck on the bottom, Islam is raining down elbows, and we're looking at a TKO or a submission in the 4th round. But let's talk about the X factor. The mind games. Ilia Topuria is winning the mental battle before the contract is even signed. He's posting photoshops. He's talking about Islam like he's a stepping stone. Some people think this is disrespectful. I think it's strategic. He wants Islam to be angry. He wants Islam to want to hurt him. Why? Because an angry fighter makes mistakes. An angry fighter overextends. If Islam comes out trying to take Ilia's head off, he opens himself up to the counter. And Ilia is the king of the counter. Look at the Jai Herbert fight. Ilia got head kicked, dropped, recovered, and then flatlined Herbert. He has recovery. He has dog in him. He isn't just a front runner. Now, I want to address the salary reveal again because it ties into the motivation here. We saw the numbers for the locker room bonuses. You know, the hush money. The extra 50K here, 10K there. It's arbitrary. If Ilia Topuria becomes the double champ, he doesn't need locker room bonuses. He becomes a partner. He gets PPV points on every card he headlines. That is generational wealth. But for the guys on the undercard of UFC 325, they are fighting for a win bonus just to break even on their camp. It's a ruthless sport. And that's why I can't hate on Ilia for chasing the money fight. You have a small window in this sport. You have maybe 5 years of prime athletic performance. You have to maximize every single second of it. If Ilia fights contenders at 145 for the next 3 years, he makes decent money. But he risks getting caught by a random knee, or blowing out his ACL, or just getting old. Go big or go home. That's the Topuria motto. Let's look at the history of 145 heirs going up. Conor McGregor. He did it. He fought Eddie Alvarez. It was a masterclass. But Eddie Alvarez was a stylist matchup made in heaven for Conor. Eddie was a brawler. Islam is not Eddie Alvarez. Max Holloway tried it against Dustin Poirier. What happened? The size difference was real. Dustin's shots just had more thud. Max was landing, but Dustin was hurting him. Volkanovski tried it against Islam. He did amazing, but he still lost. And then he lost badly the second time. History tells us that moving up to fight a dominant champion is a bad idea. The weight classes are there for a reason. 10 pounds doesn't sound like much to you and me, but when you're grappling, it's an anvil. Ilia is 5 feet 7 inches. Islam is 5 feet 10 inches. The reach is different. The frame is different. When they stand next to each other at the face-off, the size difference is going to be shocking. But Ilia has that Mike Tyson build. Compact. Explosive. If he can get inside the reach, inside the kick range, he can do damage. The uppercut. That is the shot. When a wrestler changes levels, they dip their head. If Ilia can time that uppercut, the same way Derek Lewis or Ngannou does, but with technical precision, good night. I keep going back and forth. 1 minute, I think Islam smashes him. The next minute, I picture Ilia's hand raised. And that is the definition of a super fight. If we knew the outcome, it wouldn't be worth watching. We watch because we don't know. We watch because the impossible happens in this octagon every other Saturday. So, UFC 327. Is it happening? Dana White is being coy. He's saying, we'll see. He's saying, there are a lot of options. That usually means they are negotiating. That usually means Topuria is asking for a number that makes the UFC sweat. And Islam is asking for a number that makes the UFC sweat. And they should pay them. Pay them whatever they want. Because this is the fight. This is the one that gets the casual fans, the hardcore fans, the boxing fans, everyone tuning in. If I had to bet my house, if you put a gun to my head and said pick a winner, man, it's hard to bet against Islam Makhachev. The system is too good. The grappling is too dominant. I think Islam survives the early storm, weathers the big shots, and eventually drags Ilia into deep water and drowns him. Submission, round 4. But, and it's a big but, I would not be shocked if Ilia Topuria lands that left hook in round 1 and shocks the world. I wouldn't be shocked at all. That's the beauty of it. And regarding the UFC 325 salaries? Keep talking about it. Keep sharing those numbers. The only way these fighters get paid more is if we, the fans, keep keep the pressure on. We can't just consume the product and ignore the human cost. These warriors deserve more than 12K to show. They deserve a living wage. They deserve healthcare. So when you're watching Topuria versus Makhachev, screaming at your TV, remember what they're fighting for. They're fighting for a legacy, yes. But they're fighting to escape the grind. They're fighting to never have to look at a 12K per 12K contract ever again. What do you guys think? Is Ilia Topuria the chosen one? Does he become the first guy to knock out Islam in a decade? Or is the Dagestani wrestling simply too much for any striker to handle? And what about the salaries? Are you okay with the main event making $3 million while the opener makes pennies? Let me know in the comments. Don't hold back. I read all of them, even the ones calling me an idiot. Especially the ones calling me an idiot. Let's argue. I'm out.